Okay, I've already done a git clone of the NuGet consistency checker and CD'd into the folder, and here's what's in it. So in addition to the MIT license and packages folder is the solution, and all we have to do to get the tool up and running is to compile a solution. So let's do that. There you go, all compiled. So the output, of course, is in the project's bin debug file. So here's the output of the compiled NuGet consistency checker, and of course what we want is the executable. Running the NuGet consistency checker --help gets you the command line options. -f tells you what folder to scan. -o allows you to change the output directory to somewhere else, the default being wherever the executable is being run from. Dump will show you the output of later, as we will show you the output of compliance. So let's run it on some sample code that I have and see what we get. And as you can see, we get three outputs: the main report, the NuGet consistency checker report, a dump file, and a compliance report in HTML. Let's look at each one of those. So here's the main report file, and it's intended for developers and DevOps folks. And basically what it has done is gone through and found every package config file, which defines the list of NuGet packages, and then sorted them by target framework, by package, by version, by place it's used. So if we scroll down to target framework.NET 4.5, you can see that we use AutoFac version 3.5.2 in the Zoo demo project. So if we scan down a little lower, we can see that we have our Entity Framework package, and in fact we're using two different versions of Entity Framework, 6.1.1 and 6.1.3. This may or may not be a problem. In my case, it's definitely a problem because the website uses the mobile API as one of its demos, and so having two different versions of the same NuGet package and thence different versions of Entity Framework is what we'd like to call a bad thing. So this is the primary reason that we wrote this tool, is to find the places in our code where we were using the same NuGet package for the same target framework, but we had conflicting versions. The next file is the dump file format, which is that data but as JSON. So let's look at that. And you can see this is not the most digestible way to consume this data. So let's copy paste this. So I'll paste the raw JSON in, and what I get out is a very comprehensible formatted piece of JSON. You can see that it's an array of records, and every record has the project folder that it found the library in. The library is the ID part, what version and what version of the .NET target framework that the library was intended for. And what this format allows you to do is to write pieces of automation that, for example, might go through and fix up library versions or do some other automated process. And because there are lots of command line things like JQ that process JSON outputs, this is a nice version of the data intended for DevOps scenarios. And lastly, we have the compliance report. And this was intended for the target audience of development teams who need to report to their compliance organizations what libraries in what versions in what software are being used. And so this takes the same data and reorganizes it in a format that's most readily usable by your compliance organization.